What is the most wrong feeling you've ever had that actually saved your life? Look, I'm not a superstitious guy. I'm a high school teacher. I believe in logic, and I don't believe in ghosts. But 3 years ago, something happened that convinced me that our brains can pick up on things our eyes refuse to see. It was a Tuesday night, around 11:30 p.m. I was driving home from a late shift at a tutoring center. My route takes me through a stretch of back road that's basically just miles of dense pine trees and zero streetlights. If your headlights die out there, you're in a void. I was cruising at about 50 miles per hour when my car just shut off. No sputter, no warning light, just total silence and darkness. I coasted to a stop on the shoulder, my heart already hammering against my ribs. Now, here's where the feeling started. The second the car stopped, the woods went silent. I don't mean quiet, I mean dead. No crickets, no wind, nothing. It felt like the entire world was holding its breath, waiting for me to step out. I grabbed my phone to call a tow truck, but I had no service. That was weird because I usually have at least 2 bars there. I reached for my flashlight in the glove box, and as the beam hit the tree line, I saw them. Shoes. About 20 yards ahead, right on the edge of the asphalt, there was a pair of clean white sneakers sitting perfectly side by side. No body, no person, just shoes. Every logical part of my brain said, someone dropped their gym bag. But my gut was screaming. It wasn't a fear feeling, it was a predator feeling. It felt like there was a heavy weight pressing on the roof of my car. I locked the doors. Then, I heard a wet thud on the trunk. I didn't look back. I stared straight ahead and started praying to a God I hadn't spoken to in years. Suddenly, a face appeared in my driver's side window. It wasn't a monster, it was a woman. She looked exhausted, wearing a thin nightgown that was soaked through with sweat. She started tapping on the glass, slow, rhythmic taps, tap, tap, tap. She wasn't asking for help, she was smiling, but her eyes were wide open, like she had forgotten how to blink. She leaned in close to the glass and whispered something. I couldn't hear her through the window, but I could read her lips perfectly. She was saying, "Thank you for stopping, they're almost here." Right then, the wrong feeling peaked. It felt like my blood turned to ice. I didn't think. I just slammed my hand onto the ignition and twisted. The engine didn't just start, it roared to life like it had never been broken. I floored it. I didn't care about the woman. I didn't care about the shoes. As I sped away, my rearview mirror caught the woman standing in the middle of the road. But she wasn't alone. 4 or 5 tall gray figures were stepping out from the trees behind her. They weren't walking. They were moving in these jagged, flickering bursts, like a corrupted video file. They were standing over the white sneakers when I rounded the corner and lost sight of them. I didn't stop until I hit a gas station 10 miles away. I walked inside, shaking so hard I couldn't hold my wallet. The clerk looked at me and asked if I was okay. I told him I'd had car trouble. When I walked back out to my car to pump gas, I froze. There, on the roof of my car, were 4 muddy handprints. But they weren't human. The fingers were at least a foot long, and the mud smelled like rotting meat and copper. I traded that car in the next day. I don't take the back roads anymore. Because sometimes that wrong feeling isn't paranoia. It's your soul trying to tell you that you're no longer at the top of the food chain.